Hello everyone, my name is Girija Prasanna Sahu. So today we will discuss with a new topic that is autonomic. So before starting our topic, so let us discuss the classification of nervous system. So our nervous system is basically classified into two classes, that is central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Okay, so central nervous system consists of again divided into two parts, that is our brain and our spinal cord. Okay, our similarly our peripheral nervous system is divided into motor and sensory nervous system. Okay, motor and sensory nervous system. So again our motor nervous system, motor means the the nerve which is, or we can say it is as the effective neuron. For suppose we are when a mosquito bites, we sense that is because of our sensory nervous system. After sensing the mosquito bite, when we kill the mosquito by our by using our hand or any other body part, that is basically due to our motor neurons. Okay, so motor neurons is again divided into two categories, that is autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. As its ANS means autonomic nervous system, as its names suggest, autonomic nervous system, that is it acts automatically, that is its action is involuntary, that is not under our control. But the somatic system, that is under our voluntary control, like if you want to walk, if you want to write, if you want to smile or run, anything that is under our control, that is basically controlled by our somatic nervous system, that is our skeletal muscle skeletal systems. Okay, similarly autonomic nervous system contains our autonomic effect like our heart rate, our blood pressure regulation, homeostasis, all this activity is comes under our autonomic nervous system. Now the autonomic nervous system again divided is three part, that is parasympathetic nervous system, sympathetic nervous system and enteric nervous system. So enteric nervous system basically present in our gastrointestinal tract. Okay, gastrointestinal tract. And our parasympathetic and sympathetic system we will discuss in detail in our next slide. Okay, so if we will see what is the difference between autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system, we found that, as I told you, autonomic control is not our voluntary control, it is not under our voluntary control. Okay, like our maintenance of our body homeostasis, our heart rate, our digestion, secretion, hormonal secretion, all these are under our autonomic nervous system. Whereas under our, as I told you, our skeletal muscle or motor nerves, these are under our voluntary control, like action includes walking, talking, running, such event, it's our under our control. So that is comes under somatic nervous system. So okay, so let us discuss in detail about autonomic nervous system. So our autonomic nervous system divided into two classes, that is sympathetic system and parasympathetic system. Okay, so sympathetic nervous system is originated from our thoracolumbar region. The sympathetic nervous system is originated from thoracolumbar region, whereas parasympathetic nervous system are originated from craniosacral region. So every year in every competitive exam, that we, whether it is related to pharmacy, whether it is related to MBBS, every time one question asks what are the number of cranial nervous system that included in the parasympathetic nervous system, that is 3, 7, 9, 10. You have to remember 3, 7, 9, 10. So to remember the all the cranial nervous system, there is a small mnemonics you can remember. Like if I will draw a cartoon, this is cartoon's nose, that is 1. Then let us make its eye, that is 2. I am numbering it as 2, 4, 6. Then let us make its eyebrow 3. Then make its a part of its face 5. Then head and complete face. Okay, then ear. Okay, then its tongue 9, 10, 12. Then its arm. Okay, let us nomenclature, let us name all the nervous systems, all these cranial nerve. So first one is olfactory, second one is two is optic, third one is oculomotor, fourth one is trochlear, six is abducens, okay, fifth one is your trigeminal, seventh is facial, okay, eighth one is vestibulocochlear, okay, nine is glossopharyngeal, 10th one is your vagus, 12th one is your hypoglossal, 11th one is your sensory accessories. Okay, so you can see that all these functions are related according to the diagram. So I told you one is like nose, olfactory is for nose, smell and all purposes, optic for eye, visible for the vision and all, your optic, trochlear and abducens is responsible. Fifth one is your trigeminal, your facial expression and all you will be under trigeminal and facial nervous system. Glossopharyngeal vagus, these are related to your autonomic function as well as your your mastication, your chewing type of function is related to all these things. So as I told, this cranial is 3, 7, 9, 10. That is 3 is oculomotor, 7th is your facial, 9th is your glossopharyngeal, 10th one is your vagus. You have to remember all the four nervous nerve name. Okay, question asked next. So let us discuss about, as I told you, parasympathetic system. In parasympathetic system, acetylcholine is your major neurotransmitter or prime neurotransmitter. Okay, that's why it is called as cholinergic nervous system. Okay, so neurotransmitters are the chemical substances. Then next important term is neurotransmitters. So neurotransmitters are the chemical substances which are basically released to a action or to a stimulus at the neuromuscular junction or synapse region to show a further activity. Okay, so neurotransmitter are the chemical substances which are released at synapse. Synapse is this region is called as your synapse. Okay, synapse to influence the neurological signals, to influence your neurological activity. So as I told you, acetylcholine is your major neurotransmitter at cholinergic nervous system, and it is synthesized in your cell cytoplasm. Question asked from this region also. Okay, so now how this acetylcholine synthesis takes place? This acetylcholine synthesis takes place in different stages. So what are the different stages? First, mitochondria will release your acetyl coenzyme A. After releasing of acetyl coenzyme A, the acetyl coenzyme A react with choline in the presence of one important enzyme. This one is important enzyme. The enzyme name is choline acetyl transferase. So you should remember that this one is the rate limiting enzyme. Question asked from the also. Rate limiting enzyme. By combining the acetyl coenzyme A with choline, it will form acetylcholine. Now this acetylcholine will stored in the synaptic vesicles when any stimulus is arrived. For suppose one stimulus is arrived. After arriving of a stimulus, what will happen? The calcium ion entry of calcium ion will take place. What happens? The entry of calcium ion is takes place, and you know that, as you know, calcium is the one of the excitatory ions that after entering into the calcium ion, there will be a exocytosis. By the process of exocytosis, acetylcholine will release. After releasing the acetylcholine, choline will bind to the, this one is your postsynaptic neurons. Acetyl will bind to the postsynaptic receptors. Okay, postsynaptic receptor, and produces action. So after binding and showing its action, the remaining amount of acetylcholine will broken down by important enzyme, that is acetylcholine esterase. Acetylcholine esterase will break the acetylcholine into two parts, that is choline and acetate. The choline again reuptake to the presynaptic neuron to participate in the further acetylcholine synthesis, whereas your acetate ion will enter to your TCA cycle, enter to the TCA cycle. Remember, so you can get one question from here also. Next, so what are the drugs that affects the this acetylcholine synthesis? One important drug is hemicholine. Hemicholine basically adds the entry of again reuptake of choline to the presynaptic neuron. Okay, then other two toxins, we have two toxins, one is botulinum toxin, another one is black widow spider toxin. The botulinum toxin basically acts by increasing the acetylcholine release. Okay, the black widow toxin decreases the acetylcholine release. Clear? Next, so your next slide is about choline esterase. How this choline esterase basically acts? What are the different type of choline esterase? We will discuss. So choline esterase are basically act by breaking acetylcholine into choline and acetate ion. As I told that choline will enter to presynaptic neuron, whereas acetate ion into TCA cycle or Krebs cycle. Okay, this is basically of two types, that is true acetylcholinesterase and pseudo acetylcholinesterase, or we also call it as a butyl cholinesterase. So what is true cholinesterase? The true cholinesterase is generally present in all the cholinergic site. Remember the location, you will get one question. Generally present in all cholinergic site like RBC, all cholinergic site, RBC, gray matter and ganglia. And what is its function? Basically it hydrolyze the acetylcholine in very faster rate. Okay, but it doesn't, or hydrolysis capacity is relatively slow we as compared associated with methacholine. That means it is unable to, or it is less hydrolyze the methacholine as comparison to acetylcholine due to the presence of methyl group. Okay, and it is very sensitive to physostigmine inhibition. Butyrylcholinesterase is basically present in the plasma, serum, your white intestine, your intestine, liver. It is hydrolyzed slow rate, very slow rate, and unable to hydrolyze methacholine. So what is its function? It is basically hydrolyze the organophosphates. Okay, the majorly the esters, ingested esters. Okay, next is about receptor. So acetylcholine has binds to two type of receptor. One is nicotinic receptor, another one is muscarinic receptor. So nicotinic receptor and muscarinic receptor. So muscarinic receptor is basically G protein coupled receptor type, whereas nicotinic receptor basically ion channel receptor type. Basically the NN receptor, ion channel receptor. Okay, so the muscarinic receptor again divided into three classes, that is M1, M2 and M3. So one important point to remember that M2 is autoreceptor. So what does it mean? What is the meaning of autoreceptors? So autoreceptors are the type of receptor basically decrease the release of their respective neurotransmitters. Okay, so it is of three type, M1, M2, M3. To remember its location, you have to simply remember one mnemonic, that is पहले खाओ फिर दिल लगाओ बाकी काम बाद में. Khao means gastric ganglia, is your gastric gland. So M1 basically present in your gastric gland. M2 is dil lagao, dil means heart. M2 is basically present in the heart, and basically it um, decreases your conduction velocity and contractility, that is that ultimately decrease your blood pressure. And M3 is your visceral smooth muscle, that is iris, contraction of pupil, in ciliary muscle contraction, exocrine gland secretion, and it causes vasodilation by releasing of nitric oxide. Okay, so if we talk about the type of G protein receptor, that is GQ protein, GIG0, M1 is associated with GQ protein, as it is M3 is autoreceptor, it is having inhibitory activity, it is basically open the potassium channel, whereas it increases the M3 and M1 increases the calcium ion concentration. If we are talking about its agonist, M1 agonist is oxytocin, M2 is methacholine, M for methacholine, M for myocardium. From that you can remember methacholine is associated with M2 receptor, and third one is bethanicol. Bethanicol you can remember B for bethanicol, B for bladder. Bethanicol is basically given in post-operative urinary retention cases. So if we talk about antagonist, antagonist is pyrangiepine, telangiepine, M2 for M2 methocatrin, tryptamine, and for M3 soliphenacin and dariphenacin. So okay, for today it is up to this. In the next class we will discuss the further part of the autonomic nervous system, especially the parasympathetic nervous system. So thank you for this. That's all for today. Thank